Let's revisit our top story. And the country is being led by cabinet and principal secretaries that are exhibiting incompetence, are more keen on hopping from one flight to another than attending key policy meetings, to the frustration of the president and his deputy. By their own admission, the head of state, President William Ruto, read the Riot Act as he and DP Rigathi Gachagua made some unsettling revelations on the members of the country's top decision-making organ. Sydney Chazima reports of the taxpayer wasting but unnamed CSs, PSs who the president termed as having the highest level of incompetence and clueless of their roles. But what does this all say about the head of state himself as the appointing authority and overall leader?
What I have seen this morning, I'm a bit worried.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua set the tone for a tongue-lashing directed at members of the executive, more so after some were locked out of State House for their tardiness. This tardiness, it appears, intimated to a sign of lack of seriousness on the part of the members of the executive, and the president picked up cue from his deputy, first going for their performance, as it was the theme of the day.
I find that many of you, the people I speak to, don't even know what is going on in your ministries or departments. You have very scanty information. The moment I know more than you in your ministry, then you must begin to understand that something is very wrong.
Some of the dockets that have been called out in the recent past include the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, headed by Alfred Mutua, which was at the center of the misunderstanding over jobs to Canada and other diplomatic gaffes.
You are the PS or the minister, and the job of the minister and the PS you don't know, or you don't have information. How do you run a ministry or a department or a parastatal if you have no information? That is the highest level of incompetence.
The president also narrated how the Cooperatives and Micro SMEs Ministry had not done well to inform Kenyans about the phase 2 of the Hustler Fund.
And I remember I called CS Chelugui. I didn't find him, so I called his PS and I found her and I explained to her, I told her, look, the public is not understanding this. Did I call you or not? On Sunday, you know, I told you this is what the public is saying. Please do more sensitization on Hustler Fund phase 2.
We have done so much as an administration, but the information is not out there. Our ministers are quiet. They are called for TV interviews, they don't show up to say what they have done. And then the media have a field day because nobody talks for government.
In the president.
President Ruto also took on Transport CS Kipchumba Murkomen, inquiring to know if one lady by the name Margaret Wanja Muthui, who was at the center of an asset recovery case of around 264 million shillings, which was allegedly illegally acquired, and court cases to block her transfer from Kera to the Ministry of Transport, was still at work.
I hope Mr. Kipchumba Murkomen and Bwana Mbugua, I hope that lady no longer works for the government of Kenya.
That Margaret Wanja Muthui was dismissed from Kera on the 29th of May after the board found her to be culpable of the illegalities. This is just one of the many cases of corruption that denied, and some are still denying, taxpayers of value for their taxes.
The public is tired of our persistent appeals, pleas, demonstrations and threats against corruption. It is time to act, and act decisively to end this scourge.
DP Gachagua had earlier raised concern over lack of quorum for cabinet committees arising from the high number of foreign visits by CSs. One of the CSs inadvertently fingered appears to be CS Trade Moses Kuria, who made 18 foreign trips in his first 100 days in office. This thirst for foreign trips has pushed President Ruto to limit the number of days to 45 in a calendar year.
Your Excellency, at times we have tried to hold cabinet committees, we can't. 5, 6, 7, 8 ministers are out of the country. Some change clothes at the airport from one country to another. That is the truth. Why can't you regulate yourself? If the president was to travel and honor every invitation, he will be out of this country the whole year.
The government has used performance contracting as a key accountability tool since 2004.
I shall hold every officer serving in government, beginning with you people seated here, to account for both their performance in service delivery and stewardship of public resources. I shall deal with cases of negligence, misappropriation, embezzlement, theft, or rather misconduct or corruption in relation to public resources summarily and decisively.
This latest tongue lashing from the president and his deputy to the cabinet puts to light the speculations that the president could be gearing for a cabinet reshuffle. Is this President Ruto's eureka moment that appointing a majority of politicians to cabinet positions was ill-advised? Sydney Chazima, NTV.
Well, and Kenyans from various parts of the country continue to flock